Today I'm making my homemade spaghetti sauce. What is nice about this recipe, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm going to be pressure canning this recipe, is that when it comes to pressure canning a spaghetti sauce, a meat sauce, basically you can put your ingredients in a pot. You can make your spaghetti sauce the way you like it and pressure can it. The only thing, however, that you do need to remember is that you always have to use safe ingredients. So you can't use any thickening agents, or you can't use anything that's not safe to can. So as long as you follow those simple guidelines, then you can basically make your favorite spaghetti sauce and pressure can it. One other thing is that I'm going to be adding lentils to my spaghetti sauce. I'm going to make two different varieties. I'm going to make one with a meat sauce, and I'm going to make one that's more vegan. So I'm going to be adding lentils in both. And if you look up how long you need to pressure can your lentils or any kind of beans inside of your scientifically approved recipes, you need to can lentils for 75 minutes. Usually a meat sauce, a spaghetti meat sauce in a 500 milliliter jar, so a pint-sized jar, would be 60 minutes. But because I'm adding lentils, I'm going to be pressure canning it for 75 minutes. So those are all things that you really need to be aware of when you're starting to pressure can. My sauce is really simple. It basically consists of tomatoes, tomato paste, a bunch of chopped up vegetables, garlic, which I haven't chopped up yet. But I do have one secret ingredient. It's not that secret, but I do have an ingredient that I love to put in my spaghetti sauce, and I find that it gives it such a unique flavor and a unique like zing to it, like a tanginess to my spaghetti sauce that I absolutely love, and it's chili sauce. And one more thing that I'll show you that I do use is dehydrated tomato skins. So what I am going to do is I'm going to take an immersion blender, and I'm going to grind this up into like a powder. So I use this as tomato paste to thicken my sauce as well. So I do use regular tomato paste as well, but I will be using some of my dehydrated tomatoes. And if you don't know that, I have another video as well on what I do to dehydrate my tomato skins. So when you're preserving your tomatoes in the fall and you're taking those skins off your tomatoes, save the peel. They're like gems. So you can dehydrate them, and you can use them in your soups, and you can use them in your sauces and anything you want to thicken. It does an incredible job. And basically when it comes to vegetables, you can make your own mixture of vegetables, whatever you like. I have here a mixture of onions and peppers, and I'm going to chop up some garlic. This is some of the garlic that I also have left over from last year. So there you go. These are my ingredients for my spaghetti sauce, and we're going to get that going. I'm not going to be cooking my vegetables down at all, because I am going to be, simmering my sauce for a couple of hours to reduce it and to thicken it up nice. And as well, I'm going to be pressure canning, so there's really no need to cook up the vegetables in advance. So I'm not going to be doing that, but I do have to get some garlic ready, which that's pretty much the only vegetable that I have left to do. So I'm going to chop up some of this incredible garlic. When it comes to the spices that I use as well with making my spaghetti sauce, so I use chili powder, oregano, basil that I dehydrated myself. I have pickling salt, bay leaves, and I add about a quarter cup of brown sugar. Now remember, when talking about salt, because we're canning, we need to be using our pickling salt, because we're going to be pressure canning, and we need to use a salt that is safe to can. You can't can with regular table salt. Another thing that I like to do is to break down my tomatoes with an immersion blender, just so they cook down quicker. Now that we've got all our ingredients prepared, all we need to do is to put them inside of the pot. So I've got my two separate pots, because I am going to be making a vegan version of the spaghetti sauce. My meat is in the pot. I have a mixture of ground beef and pork. Like I say, you can just do it with whatever kind of meat you like. Some people like to use sausage meat. It's all about how you like your spaghetti sauce at the end of the day. So make it to your liking. I've added all the ingredients to both pots. Just going to add the lentils. I'm going to start by adding some in this one. And these will also help absorb some of the liquid as well, and to help reduce the sauce, make it thicker. Now with any good spaghetti sauce, what needs to happen is we need to bring this to a boil, lower it down, and let it simmer. The longer the better. So all the jars are in the canner. I actually ended up with a lot more than I thought I would, 15 jars, so that's pretty good. So let's get that going. I'm gonna put the cover on, turn the heat up, vent it for 10 minutes, and then bring the pressure up to 11 pounds of pressure, and then process this for 75 minutes. If you're not familiar with pressure canning, please check out my other video. I do have a very detailed video on pressure canning, or read the manual that comes with your pressure canner. Just make sure that you know what you're doing. It's not complicated, but there are a little bit of detailed steps that you need to follow to make sure that you're doing it safely for the quality of your food and for yourself as well. So the jar is processed for 75 minutes. I turned off the heat, removed them from heat, let the button drop and the pressure go down to 0. Remove the weighted gauge, which is this. Remove the weighted gauge, let it sit for 10 more minutes. Remove the cover, let them sit for 10 more minutes, and now they're finally ready to remove from the pot. After the 24 hours are up, you're going to remove the rings. Never store them with the rings on top. You want to remove that. And write down what's inside the jar and write the year in case you don't eat it as fast as you thought you would. One more thing is that I did pressure can this spaghetti sauce, but you could have done it frozen. You can freeze your spaghetti sauce as well, and I'm sure you all know that. I just like the convenience of having it really ready, really quick. So I do hope you enjoyed this content. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like this video, if you like my content, give it a big thumbs up, and be sure to check back again soon to see what other content I'll have coming out.